to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, continuing my 2017 NFL Draft Scouting Combine videos, and today we're talking about the DLs, the defensive linemen in this 2017 NFL Draft, and a pretty good day for the defensive linemen. Let's start with the big boy, Myles Garrett, the defensive end out of Texas A&M, and my God, I've been saying a very scary phrase when it comes to Myles Garrett, and that's called Hall of Fame. And I'm not sticking by that entirely. I have him just under that grade right now, but man, he looked great today. It was funny looking at his 40. When he first started running it, I was like, what the hell? And still, I'm kind of like, what the hell? If you haven't watched his 40, watch it. He's kind of like running like this, and he looks ugly, but it works because he ran a 4.6. I liked Ike Taylor for once. I actually liked something that Ike Taylor said, although it really wasn't that profound. He was like, he run like my kid. Pretty funny, Ike Taylor. Still say something intelligent, but hey, yeah, pretty funny. It's true. He doesn't run that aesthetically, but man, he ran well. Okay, 4.64, 40, incredible for a defensive lineman that is Myles Garrett, defensive end. Not as fast as Jadeveon Clowney, but still damn good. He put up, like, how many reps on the bench press did he put up? He put up 33 bench press reps. That was like third amongst the defensive linemen, stronger than most or almost all nose tackles. I mean, my God, we're talking about a guy with 35-inch arms. I mean, oh my goodness, this guy's just a freak. He's just a man. I was looking at this guy. I said, that's a man out there. Somebody test this boy. And I love these players that you look at and you say, somebody test him. What's wrong with this guy? I love those players because those are what Hall of Famers are made of. I mean, you look through the Hall of Fame, you just see freaks. You do see plenty of guys like Tom Brady that weren't freaks, but you do see plenty of guys that were. And man, Myles Garrett, this guy, he's incredible. And we can nitpick him, and I'm going to release my scouting report saying, oh, this and that. Y'all would have nitpicked Lawrence Taylor. Y'all would have nitpicked Julius Peppers. Y'all did nitpick Julius Peppers. Y'all would have nitpicked Javon Curse. Y'all would have nitpicked anybody. Sometimes it's just about, man, this guy's good, and then just calling it a day. All right, outside of him, Tak McKinley. This guy's going to be out for 5 to 6 months with an injury, but I really liked him today. Had a great 40 time, an unofficial time of 4.59. Let me see what he ended up with today. Tak McKinley, it was still a 4.59. So for once, the unofficial was correct, and it's actually been more correct than normal. So you're seeing they're getting better with that. I like him. And this is a guy that, man, I got to turn on the film, but from what I've seen, I really like him. And don't be surprised if this guy, like, next year, when he comes back healthy, is, like, already one of the best NFL edge rushers. I mean, he really has that talent. I loved him in the drills. I thought he did a fantastic job. This Tak McKinley, man, this guy's good. And he's still somewhat new to football, I think. I want to say they were talking, and they said, like, Jim Moore brought him on his freshman year or something like that. I'm not really sure, honestly. They're talking something like that. So there's upside here, man, and I see it. Let's talk about Malik McDowell, the defensive tackle out of Michigan State. Ran a pretty damn good 40 for his size, ridiculous size that he possesses, standing at 6'6", 295 pounds, ran a 4.85 40. A guy that had a pretty good, looked pretty good in the drills, I would say. He's a guy that really, his effort was questioned this year. His production came down, and guys are questioning his effort. But I think you like what you see. I'm very hesitant, though, because I hated, for those of you that remember, if you were here, if you weren't, let me let you know, Robert Nkemdiche. I hated him more than anything on this planet. I hated Robert Nkemdiche. I hated him more than ISIS. Honestly, I hated this guy. Not really. But anyway. And he came out, and what was he? He was a clown. He's exactly what I thought he was going to be. He was Robert Clown-Dici. I'm going to turn on the film for Malik McDowell, and if I see any similar traits, I'm gone, because I don't want these clowns, especially when they're defensive linemen. If they're already have a clown in them, they're lazy, they're big anyway, they're going to be lazy, big, and nothing in the NFL. So I'm going to turn on the tape, see what I see, but hopefully there's not a lot of Robert Clown-Dici in him, because, man, I hate these clowns, especially these big defensive lineman clowns. I hate them. Carl Lawson, this guy is very compact. Okay, he's like 6'2". What is he? He weighs 261 pounds. You can see he's very compact. He's like a bulldog. And he was out there, and I liked him. I liked him running around out there like a clown. Not like a clown, but he did a pretty good job to me. Now, there are some people that are disappointed with his 40 time. We're in a 4.67. I think that's plenty good to me. I don't understand the questions about that. He put up 35 bench press reps. Again, he's very compact, very strong. You can see that there. I like Carl Lawson. Now, again, he's a guy that had a little bit of production dip this year, so I'm going to turn on the film, but I think there's a lot to like as it pertains to Carl Lawson athletically. Other guys, Charles Harris. Some people didn't like Charles Harris today. I thought he was fine. Yeah, the 4.82 40 wasn't great. Okay, that I will give you. That's not great, especially sitting at 253 pounds. But I saw him in the drills. He has some nice fluidity. Dropped into coverage nicely in the coverage drills. I think there are things to like here. Yeah, he's not going to run a great 40. Guys, this is a damn edge rusher. I mean, honestly, this is an edge rusher. If the Dallas Cowboys take this guy, they're going to be thrilled with him. He's going to do a good job for them. I don't think there's much to... If you want to criticize him for the 40, fine, but I like Charles Harris. Some other guys that are meant to be high draft picks. Let me just scroll through so many defensive linemen here, so excuse me for scrolling through, but there's just so many. Derek Barnett, the defensive end out of Tennessee. Had a flu virus today. I believe it was the flu. I know it was a virus of some sort, and I thought he looked well despite the flu. Not great. I mean, he ran a 4.88 40, and if you're going to compare him, then he was even worse than Charles Harris. But despite the circumstances, looked decent, and he came out, he wanted to compete, and he's a guy that, man, has fantastic hands. His hand usage is off the charts, and I'm going to defend this guy. I've seen a good amount of him. I haven't given him a grade yet, but I'm going to defend this guy when I really come to him on the defensive side of things. That will come after this week when I really start getting into those guys, man. I really like Derek Barnett, though, from what I've seen of him. We look at Jonathan Allen, the defensive lineman out of Alabama, and I will say this, I was a little underwhelmed with him today athletically. Okay, he ran over a 5.40, a 5.0 to be exact, and I mean, he's a defensive tackle, okay? So it's not a big deal, but I thought it was going to be sub 5. I thought he was athletic enough for that. You look at some other things, some other traits. His vertical was okay. Broad jump wasn't great, so he's not a great athlete. We saw him, though, win plenty of ways at Alabama. That's fine. And I was just talking about how I'm going to defend Derek Barnett despite his non-athleticism, but we're talking about Jonathan Allen as a potential top 2 pick. I mean, we're talking about him going number 2 overall to the San Francisco 49ers. I would have preferred to see more pop, explosion, more out of him. Like Aaron Donald, I saw that from Aaron Donald. I saw plenty of that from Aaron Donald when he came out. Jonathan Allen, not so much. In the drills, he looked pretty good. Okay, he did look pretty good there. But when we're talking top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5, I do want to see a little more. That's just a little thing about me. Again, he's very good on tape, so it's not a big deal, but I thought he would be a better athlete. I really did. We look at, not a way better athlete, but better. We look at Taco Charlton, the defensive end out of Michigan, and, you know, his day was, I think, a little overrated. I'm not sure why everyone's falling in love with Taco Charlton right now. He's very long, 6'6", 277 pounds, but he ran a 4.9 240, which, you know, isn't great. Again, I don't really care too much because he's a defensive end, but if we're talking about this guy being so, you know, potentially athletic, his upside is so high, he ran a res 40 than Derek Barnett, who's sick off his ass. I mean, come on. So I don't understand that conversation. We look at, you know, some other things about him in the drills. He looked okay, but I don't know, he doesn't look that strong to me. What did he do bench press wise? 25, which is pretty good. That's more than Jonathan Allen. By the way, Jonathan Allen, only 21 bench press reps. I mean, that's not too low, but again, where is there should be something special. I'm missing this special athletic thing from Jonathan Allen. Like, where is it? I feel like everyone has something, you know, all these, if you go back, they're looking at top 5 defensive linemen over the past 10, 15 years, everyone has their something, right? I don't know where it is athletically from Jonathan Allen. Maybe it's not there. I guess it's not there because I didn't see it. Yeah. Okay, anyway, we go back to Taco Charlton. Okay, so he put up 25. Was it 25 that I said? 25 bench press reps. Okay, that's pretty good. I don't know. I'll turn on the tape. I'll look at him. I just think people are overrating his day. I don't think he had a great day. I think it wasn't a bad day, but I don't think it was great. I want to talk about this Brian Cox, this offensive lineman out of Florida. I don't know much about this guy, but man, I liked him today. I thought he was moving around today. How much does he weigh? 265 pounds. Excuse me, looked bigger than that. And he really did well. He was dropping back, doing a good job there. Nice fluidity. A guy that was competing his ass off out there. Now, I've heard the production wasn't great out of Florida, and he only had 16 bench press reps. So, you're going to have to bring him off the edge, okay? And he's going to have to win in other ways, but I like that you can stand him up, move him back there. And again, the thing why I'm talking about him, in terms of an optimistic view, while versus a pessimistic view when it comes to Jonathan Allen. What are the expectations for Jonathan Allen? What are the expectations for Brian Cox? Brian Cox is right now projected to be 4th, 5th round. Allen number 2 overall. That's why, if you ever wonder why are you talking about this guy pessimistically and this guy optimistically, it's all relative to expectations for me. And I think that's the way you have to do it, right? That's really the way you have to analyze this to me. We look at Caleb Brantley. I did not like Caleb Brantley today. Just did not look very intimidating at all. I thought his body looked way more fat than muscle, And I know he's going to be an inside defensive lineman, but man, just way more fat than muscle. And if you're not going to be a nose tackle, then I don't like that at all. Just looked like kind of like a clown out there to me. I didn't like him. 40 time was pretty bad, over 5'1". I know he's huge, but I mean, not a lot of guys ran that slow today. So you're going to be victim of comparison. His bench press was only 21. So yeah, he's not that strong. Despite the size there, and that's what I saw. I saw a guy that just looked more fat than muscle. So is he gonna move people? He's not gonna blow past them. So that's the problem with Caleb Brantley. I've seen him projected in the first round. I don't buy it. Only 27 vertical. That's like the lowest I've seen. Brian Cox was lower. Okay, that's fine. But I saw something from Brian Cox. He dropped back into coverage. I didn't see anything from Caleb Brantley. So that's my problem with Caleb Brantley. I was not impressed. We move on to some other guys. Terrell Basham, this guy out of Ohio. How did he do? He did pretty well. I remember in the drills, he did pretty well. Ran a pretty good, actually damn good 40 time at 4.70. Will he get drafted first round? No, but I think second round is still where he is, deservedly so. And again, this is a guy that could really come on and end up being one of the better pass rushers from this draft and being one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. It would not shock me in the least. Montravius Adams. Okay. So look at this guy, right? He's 6'4", 304, ran a sub 540, ran a 4.87 40, and this 40 is right in line. It's better than Jonathan Allen, right in line with Derek Barnett, who's a defensive end. You have my attention. You look at his bench press, 22. Okay, he's strong too. Probably should be a little stronger. I'll give you that. All right, that's fine. I liked him in the drills. I remember seeing him in the drills. He was pretty powerful in the drills, hitting those bags. So Montravius Adams is a guy that I'm looking at right now. I want to go back and look at him on film if I can. I liked this Deshaun Hall, this defensive end out of Texas A&M. I thought he moved well. He ran well at 4.76, and I liked him in the drills. I'm intrigued by this. Okay, this Ryan Glasgow. So he's the brother of, what's that other guy's name? Graham Glasgow, the center for the Detroit Lions, who was drafted in the 2016 NFL draft. And there are things to like about him. He's very powerful, very strong. He's going to have to play nose tackle to me because maybe nose tackle actually. He's saying at 299. So that you look at that, you say, okay, three technique, maybe 5 technique, but probably 3 technique. But he did not run well, okay? Did not perform well athletically, but when he was hitting those bags, boy, he was hitting them. I wonder if he could put on weight and do that. It's going to be a question with that. He deserves to be day 3. I just want to talk about him. We look at some other guys, so many defensive linemen. How about this weird guy, this Tano Passignon. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the guy out of Villanova, he's standing at 6'7", 289. And he kind of looked like a tall tight end out there, a bigger tight end, but a taller, bigger tight end out there. We're in a 4.83. 23 bench press reps. I've heard some buzz around him, and he looked pretty good in the drills as well. Could have used some more power when hitting the bags, but I'm interested in this guy, and don't be surprised if this guy continues to rise up. Well, I liked this Trey Hendrickson, this defensive end out of Florida Atlantic, probably going to play some outside linebacker as well, 6'4", 266. We're in a 4.65 40, competed in the drills, did very well in the drills that I saw, did not participate in the bench press, so that's concerning. But he doesn't look very strong. I'm not surprised there. But he looked athletic, looked mobile, looked like he'd be able to get after the quarterback, to be able to attack that quarterback, bring him down, do a good job there. I was very impressed and intrigued by this Trey Hendrickson out of Florida Atlantic. We continue to move down the list. We look at this Larry Ogunjobi, who is currently fourth on Mike Mayock's defensive lineman rankings. I was surprised to see that. So 305, okay. We're in a sub 540. That's pretty good. Still, guys, running faster than Jonathan Allen. What is up with that? At a higher weights. We look at his other stuff, bench press, 26 reps. Now, my problem with him, though, that I remember that I wanted to bring him up, in the drills. I didn't think he did very good in the drills. I thought he was a guy that could have been a little more aggressive when hitting the pads, and at times that some be a little tight. So I wonder if he's just more of an athletic guy than a real good football player. We'll see as that develops. I'm interested in this Elijah Qualls. Now, this is a nose tackle, okay? Everyone can agree on this. He's 6'1", 313 pounds, ran over 5'40", 5'13", but he's the first guy that I've talked about now that's over 310. He's a nose tackle. So I really don't care about the 40, and even if anything, that 5'1" isn't bad. So 33 bench press reps. Boy can hit. I saw him on the pads, hitting those pads. I think he's, right now, who's the best nose tackle? Who's truly a nose tackle? I'm not sure. He might be my number one nose tackle. I need to sit down and rank everybody and just see who is actually going to play nose tackle the next level. But I think this guy's going to be a good nose tackle. I'm seeing some good nose tackle traits from Elijah Qualls. I like this guy. I really do. I liked a lot from what I saw from Elijah Qualls. Hassan Reddick. How have I not talked about him yet? Mainly because I'm going in alphabetical order a little bit. Hassan Reddick, out of Temple, did very well at the Senior Bowl, did well today, very well today. He pretty much killed it. He was probably the best guy out there next to Myles Garrett, and he's going to go first round, deservedly so. Now, my question is, what exactly is he? Is he going to be an edge rusher? Is he going to be an inside guy? Because I think he could do both. You probably want him edge rushing most of the time. Is he going to be a 10-plus sack guy edge rushing, though? I don't know about that. I think you want him to play inside a little bit, cover a couple of guys, a couple of tight ends, cover more running backs as well. He's going to do a lot for you. So first round is fine. I may not do it, though, just to be honest, because I think there's some other guys that I might prefer, but when I sit down and rank everybody, we'll know for sure. But he definitely killed it today, and yeah, that's for sure. I think he'd be a great fit for like Pittsburgh or something like that. We look at some other guys as well. Dewan Smoot, okay, the defensive lineman out of Illinois, 6'3", 264, 4'7", 40. That's fine. And in the drills, it did not jump out for me. I'm interested with this guy because he was, I want to say like mid-season, he was projected first round, even early season, kind of fell off. I want to know what happened there, but I'm intrigued by Dewan Smoot. I wish he really would have jumped out. Okay, have I not talked about this guy yet? Let's talk about Solomon Thomas, the defensive end out of Stanford. And this is a guy that did absolutely fantastic today, 4'6", 940. Bench press killed it, 30 reps, and this wasn't today that he did the bench press, but still, he was fantastic. I mean, this guy was absolutely fantastic. He looked great, looked mobile, looked fluid. I was going out in coverage, doing a good job in the coverage drills. They had him doing linebacking drills, looked fantastic. I was very impressed by Solomon Thomas. He's looking more and more like a top 10 draft pick. I've even seen some people, I don't want to say the name because I'm not sure if he actually said it or not, but somebody said they're even thinking that he's the best player in this draft. And I'm not sure about that. I think I'm going to take Myles Garrett, but it wouldn't shock me, honestly, if Solomon Thomas proves to be the best player from this draft, proves to be a 10 plus, even 12 plus sack guy in the NFL every year for, let's say, 5 to 8 years, because anything beyond that point is pretty ridiculous to project. So we will see when it comes to Solomon Thomas, but I liked what I saw today. Any other guys? DeMarcus Walker. I didn't see DeMarcus Walker. I was disappointed. I wanted to see DeMarcus Walker did not participate in anything. I guess something got flagged at the combine, and he was not able to participate. That's unfortunate. Let's talk about Tim Williams. Okay, so this guy, Tim Williams, 6'3", 244 pounds, and ran a disappointing. Well, it wasn't too disappointing for me. Some people said it was disappointing. Okay, so 4'6", 840, and I can understand why you would be disappointed, because he's going to play edge rusher. So in a 3-4 probably, and he's sitting at 244. But I think this is fine. I don't think that's a big deal at all. I wish I would have saw more from him in the drills. I didn't think he popped off for me in the drills, popped off my TV screen. I don't think he did that. I thought he could have performed better, made a bigger impact, and made a better impression. Especially if Mike Mayock has him as his second best edge rusher, I need to see something from you. I saw a hell of a lot from Myles Garrett, saw a hell of a lot from Tak McKinley. Him, not so much. Is he in the first round right now? I don't know. I think the Cowboys would love to take this guy, and maybe even the Steelers, and maybe some other teams as well. So probably, yeah. But I really wish I would have seen more from him today. And then one more guy, Chris Wormley. Didn't do anything. I wanted to see more from him today, but unfortunately that was not the case. And actually one more guy. So Charles Walker, the defensive lineman out of Oklahoma, 6'2", 310. This guy could be another nose tackle candidate. Ran under 540. So again, see how Jonathan Allen is comparing to these guys athletically? Am I the only one? No one's talking about this. This is kind of concerning, guys. I mean, again, he's a good football player, but we're talking number 2. We're talking the 49ers taking this guy as the second best player in the draft. And he's under, what is he weighing right now? He's like 285, right? He is currently, like 286, actually. We have a guy here in Charles Walker, 310 pounds, 6'2", an inch lower, okay? And he still ran sub 5. So, I mean, Allen, is he really that good? Does he deserve to be picked that high? And then also, there's shoulder problems that I'm hearing with Jonathan Allen, that they're looking at his shoulders and there are issues there medically. So I'm going to continue to have that conversation. I think that conversation needs to begin as it pertains to Jonathan Allen. But for Charles Walker, today, I wanted to see more on the bench press, okay? 25 nose tackle. I want to see more. It's not great, especially because if you're not going to be that athletic outside of that, I need to see more there. Wait, who the hell is this? This Steve, well, how do you pronounce this? Is Steve Tuakomalavatu, this USC nose tackle. So this guy's sitting at 331. He ran a 5.440. And, okay, I know he's big, so I won't count it too much, but how about this? We did a broad jump of 7 feet 7 inches. Bench press was 28, so he's strong. Not as good as Myles Garrett, but I just saw that listed, and I was like, wow, look at those numbers. Are they good? No. That if you're wondering my analysis on that, they're not good. And I just saw him out there. I remember that guy. He kind of looked like a clown out there compared to everybody. He was huge. What was Danny Shelton's numbers? Real quick, before we leave, I'm wondering what Danny Shelton's numbers were at the time. Again, I don't edit these videos. I probably should. But let's look at Danny Shelton's combine numbers. I just want to see what a big guy like this would ideally get. combine profile. So Danny Shelton, yeah, he ran a 5.6 40. Okay. And he had bench press though of 34, 30-inch vertical. Okay, so I won't kill my boy Steve too much, but it was just so shocking because I have all these numbers listed up here. I look at the numbers and then I recall what they did in the drills, and it just stood out, this guy, the 40 that he ran and the broad jump that he had. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the defensive lineman from the 2017 NFL Draft Scouting Combine. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. I'm out.